Welcome back, friends, to Time Rewind TV. Today, we're going back to 1985 to revisit Commando, the explosive action classic that gave us unforgettable battles, legendary one-liners, and Arnold Schwarzenegger at his unstoppable best. But more than 40 years later, the real lives of its cast have taken some surprising and emotional turns. So get comfortable, and let's remember the cast of Commando, then and now in 2026. Rae Dawn Chong was born in 1961 in Edmonton, Canada. She was 24 when she played Cindy, an ordinary flight attendant whose quiet evening turns into complete chaos after John Matrix suddenly drags her into his desperate mission to rescue his daughter. Chong gave Cindy humor, attitude, and the reactions of someone who couldn't believe what was happening around her. She starts out wanting nothing to do with Matrix, but eventually becomes the unlikely partner he desperately needs. Now 65, Chong has built a long career across film and television. Cindy worked because she reacted to Matrix the way a normal person probably would, with confusion, frustration, and disbelief. In a movie filled with impossible action, she gave audiences someone human to follow. Vernon Wells was born in 1945 in Rushworth, Australia. He was 39 when he played Bennett, Matrix's former teammate turned bitter enemy, wearing chainmail and carrying a personal hatred that made the mission about much more than money. Wells played Bennett completely over the top, and that was exactly what Commando needed. While Arius wanted political power, Bennett wanted something simpler. He wanted Matrix to suffer before finally facing him himself. Now 80, Wells remains a cult favorite thanks to films like Mad Max 2 and Commando. Bennett worked because he wasn't afraid of Matrix like everyone else seemed to be. He actually wanted the final fight, and when those two finally faced each other, the movie delivered exactly what fans had been waiting for. Arnold Schwarzenegger was born in 1947 in Thal, Austria. He was 38 when he played John Matrix, a retired elite commando trying to live peacefully with his daughter until armed men arrive and take away the one person he cares about most. What follows is pure 1980s action. Guns, explosions, impossible stunts, and Schwarzenegger one-liners delivered without blinking. But beneath all that muscle, Matrix has one simple motivation: get Jenny back, no matter how many men stand in his way. Now 79, Schwarzenegger is one of the most recognizable action stars in movie history. Matrix worked because the film never apologized for making him larger than life. He wasn't trying to save the world. He was an angry father with a deadline, and that made every explosion feel personal. Dan Hedaya was born in 1940 in New York City. He was 45 when he played Arius, the exiled dictator who kidnaps Jenny and attempts to force Matrix into carrying out a political assassination. Hedaya gave Arius the arrogance of a man convinced he had found the perfect way to control an unstoppable soldier. His biggest mistake was believing that threatening Matrix's daughter would make Matrix obedient. Now 86, Hedaya has built a remarkable character acting career with films including Blood Simple, Clueless, and The Usual Suspects. Arius worked because his plan created the movie's ticking clock. He thought he had turned Matrix into his weapon, when in reality, he had simply given him a reason to come hunting. David Patrick Kelly was born in 1951 in Detroit, Michigan. He was 34 when he played Sully, the cocky little henchman who enjoys taunting Matrix without realizing just how badly he has underestimated the man following him. Already memorable from The Warriors, Kelly gave Sully a nervous arrogance that made his confrontation with Matrix darkly funny. His cliffside encounter also set up one of Schwarzenegger's most famous lines, "I let him go." Now 75, Kelly has enjoyed a long career across film, television, and theater. Sully worked because audiences couldn't wait to see his confidence disappear. He talked like he had control of the situation, right up until Matrix was holding him over the edge of a cliff. Alyssa Milano was born in 1972 in Brooklyn, New York. She was only 12 when she played Jenny Matrix, John's young daughter whose kidnapping turns a retired soldier back into the unstoppable commando everyone feared. Jenny spends much of the movie as a hostage, but Milano gave her enough spirit to make her feel like Matrix's daughter. She doesn't simply sit quietly waiting to be rescued, she looks for opportunities to fight back and escape. Now 53, Milano went on to major television success with Who's the Boss? And Charmed. Jenny worked because the audience had to understand why Matrix would tear through an entire private army for her. Their early scenes together established that bond before the shooting ever started. James Olsen was born in 1930 in Evanston, Illinois. He was 55 when he played Major General Franklin Kirby, Matrix's former commander and one of the few men who truly understands how dangerous his old soldier can be. Kirby arrives to warn Matrix that members of his former unit are being killed, but the attack comes faster than anyone expects. Olsen played him with the authority of a military veteran who knows exactly what Matrix is capable of once pushed too far. Olsen later stepped away from acting after a career spanning film, television, and theater. He died in 2022 at age 91. Kirby worked because he gave Matrix a history. When the general treated him like a one-man army, audiences understood they were about to see why. Bill Duke was born in 1943 in Poughkeepsie, New York. He was 42 when he played Cook, a former member of Matrix's unit who has switched sides and become part of the conspiracy surrounding Jenny's kidnapping. Duke's imposing presence gave Matrix one of his toughest hand-to-hand fights. Their brutal motel room battle felt heavier and more physical than many of the movie's gunfights, with both men smashing through almost everything around them. Now 83, Duke has built an acclaimed career as both an actor and director, later reuniting with Schwarzenegger in Predator. Cook worked because he looked like someone who might actually hurt Matrix. For a few minutes, the unstoppable hero finally had an opponent strong enough to hit back. Drew Snyder was born in 1946 in Buffalo, New York. He was 39 when he played Lawson, one of the men connected to the operation targeting Matrix and his former military unit. Lawson's role was smaller than Bennett or Arias, but characters like him helped establish the size of the conspiracy surrounding Matrix. The attack wasn't random, someone was systematically hunting men from his past. Snyder continued working as a character actor across film and television for many years. Lawson worked because Commando needed its opening threat to feel organized and dangerous. Before Matrix could become the hunter, men like Lawson helped show audiences that he was the one being hunted. Sharon Wyatt was born in 1953 in Lebanon, Tennessee. She was 32 when she appeared as Leslie, a flight attendant whose brief encounter with Sully becomes another small piece of Matrix's frantic pursuit. Wyatt's role was limited, but it helped place the larger-than-life action inside an ordinary civilian world. While Matrix chased kidnappers and killers, people around him had no idea they were standing next to a rapidly unfolding military operation. Wyatt later became much better known to television audiences through her long-running role as Tiffany Hill on General Hospital. Now 73, her Commando appearance remains an interesting early film credit from a career remembered primarily for daytime television. Bob Miner was born in 1944 in Birmingham, Alabama. He was 40 when he played Jackson, one of the men involved in the violent attack that destroys Matrix's peaceful life and sets his rescue mission in motion. Miner had extensive experience as a stunt performer, making him a natural fit for a movie built around physical action. Jackson and the other attackers quickly discover that catching John Matrix off guard is very different from actually keeping him under control. Miner went on to accumulate an impressive list of acting and stunt credits across Hollywood. Now 82, his role represents the kind of physical supporting performance that gave 1980s action movies their rough edge. Matrix needed dangerous men to fight, and performers like Miner made those confrontations believable. Gary Carlos Cervantes was born in 1953 in Maywood, California. He was 32 when he played Diaz, one of Arias and Bennett's men sent to help capture Matrix and force him into their plan. Diaz discovers very quickly why Matrix's military reputation matters. Even with armed men surrounding him and his daughter held hostage, Matrix is constantly watching, calculating, and waiting for the first chance to turn the situation around. Cervantes continued building a long career as a character actor across film and television. Now 73, Diaz remains a small but effective piece of Commando. He worked because every henchman helped build the same message. You could surround John Matrix, threaten him, even capture him, but keeping him under control was another story entirely. Thanks for spending another nostalgic moment with us here at Time Rewind TV. Looking back at Commando, 1985, reminds us why this explosive action classic and its unforgettable cast still have a special place in the hearts of fans. Which character or scene do you remember most? Share your memories in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, take care, and we'll see you again on Time Rewind TV.